Hi, this is Travis Bellmore, head personal trainer at Infinite Fitness in Edmonton, Alberta for the CanFit Pro PTS. I'm going to talk today about some of the training principles. So I'll start with the FIT principle. So with the FIT principle, we've got frequency, intensity, time, and type. And this is how workout programs, periodization plans will be structured around. So first with frequency, that's the amount of times per week that a client will be exercising. So depending on the client's goals, fitness level, amongst other things such as availability, we'll decide on appropriate frequency. Most importantly is the client's availability, obviously, because if they are not available to work out, we can't really do much about that. So we have to convince them of the importance of working out regularly every week for a minimum amount of time that's going to help them meet their goals. With the intensity, that's going to depend on frequency as well as time, because there'll be an inverse relationship between intensity and volume. So if they're working out for an hour, we can really have a broad range of intensities. So again, that will depend mainly on the goals and fitness levels. If their goal is sport performance, then we'll probably need a higher intensity, and if their goal is more fitness-based, then we can probably get started with a lower intensity. It also depends on the exercise history as well. We don't want to start a beginner off at too high of an intensity, because then we run into injury risks and adherence becomes an issue that way. If we start exercising too intensely, there is a drop-off rate with regards to adherence. Time would be the duration of each exercise session. So if they're exercising 3 times a week, their frequency is 3, and if each session is an hour, the time is an hour. We could also divide the time into time that they're spent on muscular strength, endurance, versus aerobic power capacity. Again, depending on goals and fitness levels, of course. The type is the modality of exercise choice. So to start, there's muscular fitness, strength, hypertrophy, endurance, and cardiovascular. So those are 2 types right there. If we're just going to focus on cardiovascular, there are several different modes. We can have them on the elliptical, running, swimming, walking, rowing, etc. And with muscular strength, endurance, hypertrophy, etc., there's obviously several modalities there as well. So body weight training, dumbbells, barbells, TRX, whichever modality is chosen to elicit the response that we're looking for. So that's the FIT principle. Some other principles that need to be focused on to have a successful personal training session or program. One would be individualization. So here we can't just go about things with a cookie cutter approach. Each client has their own goals, their own fitness level, a whole slew of things that makes them unique, and that's why they come to a personal trainer, is so that they can get something specific, not just something out of a magazine or something that you give to all your clients. So we need to make sure that each program is individualized for the client, so it helps. There are several testing methods we can use to see what fitness level they're starting at. We know by talking to them what their goals are, and we can design a program specific for them. So it's going to be different than a person with the same goals, because they'll have different fitness levels, or someone with the same fitness level will have a different goal. So there's several components towards individualization that we need to address. Next is specificity. So this ties in nicely with individualization, because everybody's going to have different specificity about them with regards to, like I mentioned, their goals, their current fitness level, past injuries, past levels of fitness, past sports that they've played. So we want to make now an individualized program that is specific to an individual's goal, their sport, their fitness level. And so to do this, we're going to, for instance, if they play a certain sport, such as golf, we'll do movements that mimic golf. We'll do walking because they have to walk the golf course. We'll do swinging motion because they have to swing the club. For some people who have to work on flexibility just to bend down and tee up a golf ball. So that way the program is specific to their goals, their needs, and sports that they enjoy. If their goal is, as an athlete, if they're focused more on endurance, then our reps and our sets and our volume and intensity will reflect that. So we would choose from a rep scheme that suits muscular endurance. If they're more of a strength athlete, then we would choose a rep scheme that suits that. So again, it could be the same exercise such as a squat, but if they're focused on muscular endurance, we want to make it as the squat specific to them, so we'll do more reps with less weight. And if they're a strength athlete, we'll do more weight with less reps. Again, same exercise, but we're making it specific to each individual. Another principle of training is the progressive overload. So here we don't want to just jump right in. If they say that their goal is to do a squat of 500 pounds, we're obviously not just going to have them in, show them how to do a squat and put 500 pounds on the bar. We'll gradually work up to their goal weight. So we have increments that are recommended with regards to intensity and volume for increases weekly, sometimes bi-weekly. Again, if they're a runner trying to do a marathon, we're not just going to start them at a marathon distance. We'll start them at a less and build them up to eventually running a marathon distance. Again, with the intensity and volume, we'll gradually build that up at a rate that's not going to cause injury, but is gradually going to show improvement over the length of their program. Next principle is recovery. So we can't just be training all day, every day, as much as some of us would like to do, and just as many people would probably not like to do, but we do need to take time to recover, not only from day to day, but also between sets and and exercises. We need to take a given amount of time. That will depend on the intensity and the volume that you're training at, and then also between days, week to week. We need to take sometimes a whole week to recover, month to month, and even year to year. You need to plan appropriate recovery. Good thing about this is that we'll give the time for the muscles to adapt and make their way to their goal. If we're just constantly hammering the muscle with exercise, it won't ever reach the goal that you're trying to achieve. We can also achieve supercompensation with proper recovery as well. If we're giving the muscle adequate time between exercise sessions, we could have a supercompensation effect, and that way your second workout will be even better than the first one because you gave your muscles the proper amount of rest. Structural tolerance. So again, speaking off of recovery, there's only so much that the body or the muscle, the joint can handle. We need to work within that to ensure that we don't injure ourselves, and also so that we're taking functional capacity into consideration and working at an appropriate intensity. Another principle is all around development. So we don't want to leave any body parts behind, any components of fitness behind. We could have someone very strong who does not have very good cardiovascular fitness. We want to make sure that we're addressing all of these things, as well as body parts. Someone might have very strong upper body, lagging lower body. We need to make sure that everything is balanced out. This is not only important for fitness and health, but for preventing injury and just overall quality of life. With reversibility, the main thing to remember here is that you either use it or lose it. So all of the gains that you've made from exercise, they don't just last for the rest of your life. If you don't continue to exercise and work at an appropriate intensity level to continue improving, you'll revert back to your previous fitness level. And speaking of that, the final principle is maintenance. So once we achieve our goals, we have a new set point, let's call it, and we need to work just to maintain that. So even though we may not want to improve anymore, We have to continue working out to maintain that set point level of fitness. And if we don't, we'll revert back to our unhealthy previous fitness level. So with those fitness principles, the FIT principle, individualization, specificity, progressive overload, recovery, structural tolerance, all-around development, reversibility, and maintenance, we can ensure that as personal trainers, we're delivering the most quality to our clients and that they will continue to reach their goals. Thank you.